Alright, what's going on, everybody? Hope this video right here finds you well. Today what we are going to go into is we're going to go into face-to-path relationships, how it relates to the grip, and how we can also relate this to a swing plane right here for us. So before we get into that, if you haven't checked out the last video that I did, please go take a look at that. Also, I've got a free crash course on understanding impact. Would love to have you take a peek at that as well right there. And again, I kind of want to give a thank you to the sponsors that I have: Drew Belts, Red Vanley, iRange, awesome companies. If you're in the market for any of their stuff, please check them out. So let's get right into it. So the first thing when it comes to understanding face-to-path relationships is, number one, we need to understand where our swing plane is. So right in here, our swing plane is basically going to be the angle that we are presenting the handle of the grip right here at address. Okay? Now, when we go into the face relationship, we have access to twist in the face. So we can close the face, we can open the face, we can keep the face square, and in theory, we could keep a face square to an arc or square to our swing plane throughout a motion. We can open it to that plane, we could close it to that plane. And one of the things that I always struggled with was, how do I relate what this is doing in relation to basically my swing plane, my club path, which ultimately controls starting direction of the golf ball, and it also controls the amount of curvature that we have. So if we start right here, what I have is I've got a grip right here, and I've put a piece of tape right here to represent it. So if we looked at the grip, right here would be the bottom half of the grip, okay? So the black piece, and the top half would be this piece of tape that I've put on there. So when I stand right here in the center of this and I line this up, what you'll notice is the top half of the grip, I have this color, okay? So if I was in theory to keep what we would kind of call the median line of this grip, if I was right in here and I kept this relatively square around me, you can see the white would stay on top, especially from kind of this hip high area to this hip high area. The white would stay on top and the dark side would stay on the bottom right here. So this, in theory, what I would know right here is my club face is square to the direction that I would be swinging. If I came in here and I twisted this off to the side to where now you can see half is over here, half is over there, and the white is now on the side and black is on the side, as opposed to the top to bottom relationship, we can see that would actually affect the club face, and vice versa. If I went this direction and I put the white over on this side and the dark was over here, we could say that would change our face and that would close it. So we can open the face, we can close the face, and we can keep the face right here relatively neutral. And the other thing that's pretty cool as well is we can do this inside of hinging. Doesn't just have to be I'm keeping my arms right here perfectly straight forever. I can do this in a manner that I'm adding hinge. So this right here, for me, this is one of the best relationships that I've thought of in understanding how would I keep my club face square, especially from this area to this area. So what I have set up right here, these orange sticks right here are representing my swing plane. The yellow sticks here on the ground would be representing my target line, and this would be just kind of a basic reference for what my body lines are. So if I started here at setup and I took this about the length of the club from head to the beginning of the grip, that's how far this would be away. And this would also be about the width of my foot from target line to here. And what I would be able to do is I could rest this golf club on here. I could rest this golf club on this stick, and that would be a relationship to what my starting plane is. Same thing right in here. I could measure this out right in here. So club head, the hosel to the grip. I've got about a foot width right here in between it. And again, I would be able to rest this on the actual swing plane of what this golf club would be where it's resting. So now from here, what you're going to notice, obviously, this right here works in an arc system. So we can see how the golf club would be working inward and it's working more around us. And that right there, sometimes that's one of the harder relationships when it comes to understanding how to keep the club face square. So when I'm right in here at setup, I can look down, I know I can see, all right, the white of the grip is here on top. So now if I started to run this on this plane here, I still have that same relationship right here. So we could actually even start to see as I work this up here, we could see the line of this grip right here would be matching what the swing plane is. And we would know that that's relatively square. If I came in here and I looked like this, and that is now twisted the opposite direction, I would know that club face is now open. If I came back down there, okay, there's no relationship now to what the swing plane would be. So one of the first places that I would start, if this is an area that you struggle with, whether it be rolling the golf club inside, whether it be taking it outside and closing it, one of the first things to understand is how do I keep this square from hip high to where this is working on a natural swing plane right here. So this right here, this would be square. I can still see the white is on top. And this right here, this would be square. I can still see the white is on top. If I close this excessively and the median line is now pointed to the sky, the face would be closed. If I went the opposite direction right here, I can see the median line is pointed a different direction, and that would tell me that there was a twist inside of what the club face is doing. So one of the places that I would simply start is, what does it feel like to run this golf club here on this plane, keeping the white of the grip here on top of the golf club, not twisting it this direction, not rolling it open this direction, and just maintaining and getting this median line more to match what my actual swing plane would be right there. Now, obviously we're never going to put tape on our grip. What we do have access to though is we have access to the logo, and there's a way that we can use, one, keeping the club on plane, keeping our face to path relationship square, and we can even use this for the player that struggles with pitching the golf club out in front. So right here, all I've got is a piece of tape. Again, this would relate to the median line. This is just a smaller version of this right here. So if I'm a player right here, let's say right there, cool, I got the club face square. I've worked this up. I can still see that that would be relatively on the same plane right there. If I'm the player that struggles with going this direction, what you will notice is the white in the end of the grip right here, or our grip logo, is actually starting to move outside of where our hands are, whether it be from the forearm moving this direction at a higher rate than the shoulder and the humerus, whether it be we're pulling this direction into us, which is kicking the pressure of the golf club out that way. But one of the neatest relationships that I like to use, if I take this down here for just a sec, is I would say, so I've got this right here on my toe line. So right in here, I can see where the white of that grip is. We can now see the white is in line with my hands. It's in line with my wrist joint, my elbow joint, and my shoulder joint. So now when I work this up and I keep this the same, as I start down, what you'll see is the white in this grip here is staying behind my hands. I'm not letting this kick out in front of where my hands are, because now if that kicks out in front, now I'm gonna have to have either early extension is gonna have to help me replane out the golf club, stand up, or we'll just have to be happy with swinging it left of our target if we're a right-handed player and hitting poles and hitting cuts. So this right here is a really neat relationship, and what I love about it is it gives me access to what my feel is in regards to my hands, the grip, and how it relates to the club face. So when we get in here and we start practicing, first place that I would go is I would take this away. This is now in line with this line on my feet. I'm gonna now work this behind my hands without twisting or rolling the grip. And I'm gonna work this back down, and I'm gonna keep that behind my hands. Feel impact. Now I've got this relationship again. And now I can still see, if I was swinging towards you right there, I can still see that the white would be on top of this grip right here. I haven't twisted this down and excessively closed it or pulled it this way to where you can't even see the tape, which would excessively open that right there. And this again is just relating to the logo or the bottom half of our grip right there. So when we get in here, I'd run through a motion. There's my feel, work it up, bring it back down. That looks good. Impact, it's still on top of the grip. Through, it's still on top of the grip. And then I would hit there. And so that right there was a very straight golf ball for me. Okay? And so this, what you'll notice as well is you should actually start to see your divot patterns like the club face. If you rerun your club face through the divot, you can now match this up with where this grip is right here. And we can see, all right, that thing stayed square from impact through my divot right there. And start off at lengths that you can create the feel. Obviously work it into full motion, but what this does as well for you, if you video and you are actually working on really trying to get better at this face to path relationship, if you throw something on there, it's going to give you the ability to analyze yourself a heck of a lot better when you're looking at yourself on video. You can see, did this pitch this way? Did it stay the same? Did it go here and roll open? We have the ability to now see that based on this point of where the grip is and how it relates to the club face, how it would relate to the hands, and even how it would relate to what our forearm roll is doing. So we go in here again. There's my feel. I work this up, bring it back down. There's impact, and now I'm through it. And you can even see all the way to here, that grip logo is still right there. I haven't twisted this to where the club face is down. So that can now be a finish goal. All right, there's where we would get that to. Set up here and let it go right there. And those two golf shots right there for me were about as good as I can hit it. So really get to understand what the golf club does. We will end up doing another video following this up with how the arm structure is going to help us relate and control this even more, but this would be your basic reference for starting to understand better the twist in what the club face does, how that would relate to curvatures, how we can use that to predict what our shots are going to do more, and we can start to own what is happening down here at impact. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for all your support. If you have any questions for me on this, please feel free to leave those in the comments down below. Thanks again.